G'day folks, welcome back to Pete's Investing. This is another review of the Magnificent Seven, namely Alphabet, Google, Amazon, Apple, Meta, which is Facebook, the old Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft, and Nvidia. So I've got the heat map here, and I've been updating this daily. You can see there's a lot more red across the board. They're all bearish on the daily, and a few have turned bearish on the weekly as well, and a couple bearish on the monthly. So I'll dig into a few of these in more detail in the charts, but notice also Amazon and Meta are neutral currently on the weekly, and they most likely will turn bearish as well in the coming days. So as not to bore you, I'm going to go through these fairly quick. So if you need to stop and pause and rewind, that's fine. So again, this is Google or Alphabet. So on the monthly, weekly, and daily, first off, we're bullish. Bullish on the weekly, and you see there's fresh breakout to the downside on the daily. Now we did have a bearish divergence here, and that's actually played out quite nicely. That would have been adjusted to that, let me just fix that, to that new high, and that would have been replaced down to there. You can see there it's possibly starting to break down, and if we get to make a prediction on a retrace, we'll take it back to that recent low, and that'll be our initial target area. Let me just put down there between the 23 and the 38% as a minimum. So that's where we are looking at for Google or Alphabet. Now if we go to the daily and hourly charts first off, okay, there's the daily chart again. You can see a bit more detail. The ADX 25 is still bullish, but on the hourly, you can see there we had a small divergence there, and that was also extended to that peak, and that on the price chart was extended to that high. So you can see that it's starting to fall off, and to draw a Fibonacci retracement on the hourly chart, again you can see there it's already hit the target area between the 23 and the 38% level. So those tails of those candles broke into that range. That's a minimum target area, by the way, so it could always fall a lot further, or it actually could bounce from there. But at the moment, based on the current market, I'd expect this to fall further in the coming days. Next, we'll look at Amazon. So monthly, weekly, and daily. Bullish on the monthly. It's neutral on the weekly, and it's been bearish on the daily for some time. Again, there's no divergence there to talk of. Notice on the daily, we had a bearish divergence there, and you're up to that peak and starting to fall off. You can see there it's actually hit our target area in that little short period between that little range there, and that would have been between that Fibonacci low to that high. And I've actually drawn a bigger Fibonacci range between that low and that high. That's a bigger range there. So that may happen in the coming days or weeks. Again, going to the other daily and hourly chart, again there are those two target areas. Notice the ADX has turned bearish on the daily, and on the hourly chart, again zooming to that peak, and that would have been to that high there. You can see there between that Fibonacci range, it's already hit the target area there in that little Fibonacci range there. For Apple, this has been bearish across the board, so bearish on the monthly, weekly, and daily. Now, that's potentially a bounce. Let's say those lows are high. That low is higher than that low there. Let me just mark it. That's still in play, by the way. That could actually drop further, but let me mark it for now. So just be careful. I wouldn't be trading long. I'm just showing you where we may see a bit of a retrace in the short term. Again, this is on the daily. So if that actually keeps falling, then that'll be in line with the price. So long as that stays above that area there, we're going to consider that a bullish divergence. And if we go to the daily and hourly chart, again, it's a clearer picture there. Higher lows versus lower lows on the price. So again, this could keep falling, but it looks like it may actually bounce from there. So we may see a bit of a bounce to the upside on the 1 hour chart. But again, I wouldn't be trading long. We want to make sure that, looking at these charts here, for example, the monthly, weekly, and daily, we want to make sure they're all aligned. So if you're going short on this one, then wait for this to break to the downside. But otherwise, to go long, I'd be waiting for at least the weekly and the daily to turn bullish. So on Meta or Facebook, there's no CCI on the monthly, but the weekly is in the neutral stage. You can see there it's broken into that moving average band, and on the daily it's been bearish for some days now. Now you'll notice also we've got a bearish divergence. Those highs are lower versus those highs are higher on the daily chart, and that's actually fallen off and hit our target area, that little rectangle, and that would have been drawn. This is to redraw that from that high. That would have been down to that level there. You can see there between the 23 and the 38%. It's already hit our target, but again, we may see this fall a lot further. You can see the CCI is showing no sign of a retrace to the upside yet. Likewise, the weekly is breaking to the downside as well, so this will probably break a lot lower. And all of these charts, if they break below the 61%, we're going to see a lot more bearish, I suppose almost a crash, if you like, on the market. But at the moment, they're still hovering around the 23 to 38% level on most of these charts. And if we go to the daily and hourly chart in more detail, first of all, we'll jump to the hourly. We've already seen the daily. And again, you can see there, we've got, let's use the trend line. We've got lower highs on the CCI for the same period, go up to that high there. Higher highs on the price, and that's a bearish divergence. It's already falling back. Now, if I was to draw a target area on this one, let me just get rid of these channels. If I was to draw a target area, again, it's already hit the target area, that minimum range. So again, if this falls below the 61%, then we'll readjust that Fibonacci to the next level and keep tracking it. So we'll keep leading it towards that 61%. So that's so far. It could bounce in any one of these places, but again, I doubt the market's going to correct anytime soon. So this is Microsoft. Monthly, it's still bullish, although notice the CCI is bending towards the moving average band. On the weekly, it's bearish, and on the daily, it's been bearish for a number of months now. We did project these bearish divergences, by the way. If you've been following my channel, we've been projecting these bearish divergences for some time, and they're actually playing out as we projected, as we anticipated. This one's also hit its target in that minimum range. And if we jump to the daily and the hourly chart, so first off on the hourly, let's see if there's any there. Those highs are lower. Those highs are lower, so that was no divergence there. We did have a bearish divergence between those peaks, so the same period between that to that high. And you can see there, so had we drawn down to anyone, let's take it to that level there. You can see there it's already well and truly broken below the 23-38% level. And it's approaching just shy of the 50% level. Again, if it breaks below the 60%, it's a lot more bearish in terms of Microsoft. Nvidia's next. Nvidia's been a lot of interest in that in the recent months, but it looks like it's weakening and losing its gloss. Monthly, it's turning down, although it's still bullish above its moving average band. Weekly, it's broken below the moving average band and bearish. And on the daily, it's been bearish for a number of months. And again, you can see there it's broken down, hit our target area, and it's sitting around just below the 38% level. Looking at the daily and hourly charts. So again, we've had a few divergences here that played out. And at the moment, between those lows are lower on the price as well. But if you drew it from that level there, let's draw that was a recent high between that range. You can see there that currently broken below the 50% on that level. Oops. And if we pull that back down to that level, you can see there 23-38% was hovering around at 23% based on that support line at 850. And if we take it down even further, you can see that it's still broke below that 23. It's currently sitting at around the 38% level. So that's also falling, and again, there's no sign of a retrace yet. No sign of a main movement to the upside. So carefully, if you're going short, good luck to you, but I wouldn't be going long, definitely on Nvidia neither. And lastly, Tesla. Tesla's been bearish for a number of months now on the monthly, weekly and daily. You can see there we had a bullish divergence. Now this one, higher lows on the CCI versus lower lows on the price. You can see there we drew a Fibonacci back to that range there, and that actually just touched that 23% level. So you could argue that was executed, but then the CCI started falling off, and so did the price, and it broke below that support at 161. And looking at the daily and the hourly, you can see there more clearly. Let me draw for you the Fibonacci retrace if you're following that to that point. You can see there the 23 to 38% level. And if I zoom right in, on that high there was 184.23. And that resistance there on that 23% was 185. So it was just short of the 23%. So just missed it. Remember, these Fibonacci's are just not exact sciences, but they're just basically directional, and that's what it's done. It broke up to that 23% before falling off again. Again, I don't trade those. I use them as a potential exit if I'm going short in this case, for example, and I see a bullish divergence, I would close the short position, and vice versa if I'm going long and I see a bearish divergence, I close a long position. Anyway, it's the Magnificent 7 for you today, and you can see there most of it is now weighted towards the bearish side. So if you're holding those stocks and you're in profit, I'd suggest you take profits until we see a movement to the upside on the monthly, weekly and daily. To support us more, go to the Patreon page for Pete's Investing, where we also do weekly scans of blue chip shares that are trending along on a longer and medium term timeframes. Feel free to support us there, and we'll see you in a future video.